I just want to tell Sarah Boone that I don't hate her for what she did. And I always remember that evening when that lady came into my door and she knocked at the door. And she asked for my name. I said, I tell her my name. And then she said, can I come in? I said, okay, yes. And she told me to sit down. I never think that was gonna be my son. And then she said my son was dead. Since that day, I can sleep. It's hard for me to remember that moment. My son is not here no more. She don't only kill my son, she killed a father, a brother, an uncle. It's been hard. And my family, because all the brothers, they will always work together. But now it's like something real. Love is missing. Sometimes when I look out the window, I'm waiting for him to come and say, Mom, I love you. She was always there. She called and called me. I missed us, Mommy. The last time that I talked to him was at 12 o'clock in January, New Year. He came to my bed and said, Mom. He woke me up and I said, Mom, I love you. Happy New Year. And since that day, I don't see him no more. You know, my son, I love him. And I miss him a lot. My family miss him a lot too. But I don't hear her. But you know what? I was blessed. She ain't gonna be blessed like me because I have my son. I raise him. I have his children, my granddaughter, my grandson, and she don't gonna be able to have that. And I did. I raised him. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good son. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. State anything further from this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, sir.
Thank you. You may call your next victim impact statement.
Victoria Torres.
His family had such class and decorum.
Ma'am, could you state and spell your name for the record for us, please?
Victoria Torres. My name is Victoria Torres. George is my brother. Unfortunately, my family has experienced two horrifying tragedies. I just want to make it clear that George deserves justice. As far as my other brother and Sarah deserve to rot in jail. Sarah has caused a lifetime of pain, a lifetime of horrible images, a lifetime of hearing my brother George plead for his life. This is just this moment for all of you. For me and my family, it's forever. Such a simple thing as using a suitcase is so triggering. I try not to close it all the way and leave at least like 2 or 3 inches for the zipper. And it might sound crazy, but it just helps me. She really has flipped my family's life upside down. And I just hope that we can truly get justice for my brother. And I just want to tell the team thank you so much for everything they did. Thank you.
Thank you. State anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, could we see if Ms. Anna Torres has been able to make it online?
Every time I see this shot right here, I am just so amazed on how much his children, this is his son and that's his daughter, look so much like him. Like that could be him right there.
Do not see.
George, who had been healthy and not an alcoholic. It's his dad, his son, of course. Yeah, it just amazes me, and it makes me sad too at the same time.
And Anna Torres in the lobby, sir. I have lots of guests: HHSA, Mr. Beck, Lana Albert, Jason Gunn.
So that was the family, and the judge answered that by saying, Sarah Boone, I hope your final words were worth it because, my friend, you get life. And life means life in Florida. I'm gonna drill that home, you guys. Life means life in Florida. So, Sarah Boone, you earned yourself life. Your last word, your need for your 15 minutes of fame, it got you life. Life, 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 life. La 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 la. Life. Sorry.
2 years ago in Winter Park, Florida.
And this is Suitcase Sarah's family, George Torres's family did an interview with Banfield, and I wanted to take a peek at that.
George Torres was zipped into a suitcase by his girlfriend. Why Sarah Boone did that? She says it was a game of hide and seek, but she's going to have to tell that to a jury. Because she whipped out her phone afterwards and videotaped him begging for his life as he slowly suffocated. Up until now, his parents have not spoken, his family has not spoken, but tonight they are. I'm joined by the reporter who got that interview for us, NewsNation.
And it showed how classy they were, that they just remained quiet through it all. And I wondered why they hadn't spoke, but I think they were like waiting to be spoken to because they're like, well, nobody's spoken to us. So, I mean, they're so respectful towards Sarah Boone, but Sarah Boone, no respect, no class. Ugh.
National correspondent.
Because she spent all her time in the mall trolling for boys with her own money, of course. She even spoke condescending when she was 18 years old.
Alex Capriello, he joins me live. That trial is coming up July 4th, and you are hearing exclusively from the parents. What did they tell you about what they know about the case?
Yeah, it really dawned on me, Ashley, that there's been so much attention on Sarah Boone, so much focus on the bizarreness of this trial that perhaps no one has ever really taken time to speak to the Torres family. And it turns out my suspicions were correct. Within the 3 years since Sarah was arrested, they haven't spoken to any national or local media outlets, had the chance to say their side of the story. So we sat down at their kitchen table and they really just opened up to me all about who George was, what he meant to their family, and also, of course, his relationship with Sarah, which, by the way, they never approved of. But interestingly, Ashley, George's mother tells me that she has a great deal of sympathy for Sarah because if she is convicted, she'll never have the opportunity to raise her son like she did with her many children. Take a listen.
He was a good son. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good son. And every time that he come here, every time, he just stand in that wall and he said, Mom, I love you. Mom, I love you. I said, I know you love me. They come and give me a hug. And then he look at his father and he said, Pop, you're my hero. You're my hero. He was a father. He was my son. He was an uncle. He was a cousin. And he was a friend. And he was a nephew. She don't kill only my son. I feel sad for her. I don't feel sorry. I feel sad. And I don't hate her. Really, I don't. I don't have that in my heart. I never hate nobody.
Gosh, so powerful to sit there with her as she explained more about her son. Interestingly, she said that she's never seen that cell phone video that shows George locked up in that briefcase, or I'm sorry, that suitcase. She says she has no intent. Intention of seeing it, but she will be there at the trial seeking justice.
It's going to play at the trial. I hope they give her a big advance warning because it is hard for us to watch it. I can't imagine a mother
Ugh, sir, you guys, Junie is being very vocal, and so I just realized that I had my microphone off that whole time. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, okay. So this is jumpsuit Pablo. He was in prison, and he is going to start talking about what Sarah Boone's life is like in prison, because I don't know about you, when I get upset about things, I like to take comfort in that maybe her life isn't going to be so nice and comfy, cozy, because she's in Florida for life. Life is life. And Jumpsuit did some time in prison. And in this video, he talks about Marcy Marie, who I talk about here. I do enjoy her page. It's the Prison Rec Yard or something like, or that's her podcast. Her page is Marcy Marie. She was in the Texas prison for like 3 to 10 years or something like that. She was in there long enough to know how it goes. And that kind of like what Sarah's life is like. And last night I couldn't sleep, and that's when I found this. And I did email Marcy Marie to see if she would come on our show, because I would love to interview Marcy Marie about the Menendez brothers, because I think I'm going to start covering them. And she has this really fun video or live where she was sitting in Rosie O'Donnell's house, but Rosie O'Donnell wasn't there. Rosie O'Donnell was somewhere else, but she was interviewing Rosie O'Donnell while she was sitting in Rosie O'Donnell's house, but Rosie O'Donnell wasn't there. And they were talking about the Menendez brothers. So I would really like to interview Marcy Marie. And so we're going to watch this video. I've only watched bits and pieces of it, so it's going to be kind of fresh for me too. It's about 14 minutes. Of course, we'll stop and start it. And yeah. Here we go. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up, guys. And also, are you a dragonfly? That reminds me. Are you a dragonfly? Are you wondering what the heck is a dragonfly? Well, the Dragonfly is the membership program over on YouTube. I release all my videos early to the Dragonflies. I give shout outs. We have a Dragonfly of the month. This month's Dragonfly is Sherry K. Congratulations, Sherry K. When we have merch, merch will be reduced for the Dragonflies. It's just a way for you to support me and me to support you back. And it's $2.99 a month. And here's a little information on the Dragonfly membership. And I will put the link down in the chat if you want to join. We would love to have you. And if you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? I would really, really, really love to have you as a power subscriber. If you really like my content, be sure to become a Dragonfly, and that's our membership, and it's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early. We have special emojis over in the chat room. I kind of share things ahead of time with my Dragonflies, and I go live sometimes just for the Dragonflies. It's a way that I can support you guys and give you more content, and it's a way for you to support our channel. It's $2.99 a month, and I would love to have you. Okay, I thought the link would have been thrown up, but it wasn't. I will look for it and get it up there before the end of this live. Oh, Junie. Junie doesn't like any of the toys that I make for him. He likes the makeshift toys. And one of my makeshift toys is an actual hanger. A hanger with some of his toys hanging off of it, so he'll actually play with it. It can be a real pain in the butt, but here's the link right here. Maybe if we can just have some links set up and ready to go for memberships and the Amazon. But here is the link for the Dragonflies. And if you like Dragonflies, I am working on some Dragonfly merch. So that should be tons of fun. I'm also looking for a few artists because I would like some art for our t-shirts and stuff like that. You don't have to be the best artist in the world. In fact, I prefer your art to be a little kitschy and a little off and a little different. So if you think that's something you might like to do for us, we would love that too. Okay, so the Dragonfly links is always in the show notes. So if you're ever struggling, just go over to any one of our show notes, any of our shows, and it's all in there. You can just grab it from there. And I've been putting everything in the beginning too, but we'll talk about it later. We'll get it situated. Absolutely no worries. And we ended up getting it up there because, you know, I can talk. I got the windpipes. I can keep it going until I pull it up. Okay, so let's get back into this. Enough of my housekeeping. Here we go.
In prison in the state of Florida about 2 days ago. Okay. Now, I'm someone, if you're new to the channel and this is your first time tuning in, I have served 10 years in prison before, obviously not in a women's prison, but I'm going to give kind of my experience as well as just what I've learned from speaking to a female former inmate who had a 20-year sentence about women's prisons and kind of how that works, as well as another creator who served their time in Florida prison and how they feel specifically about Sarah Boone's likely experience. Will she survive? Will she, I guess you can't say, will she make it out alive? If you have life without parole, you're not going to, but you kind of get what I mean. But before we jump into that, if you weren't there for the sentencing 2 days ago, it was pretty wild. Okay. I mean, on the serious kind of heartbreaking note, I mean, we heard testimony, impact statements from Mr. Torres's family, talking about just things that I had never even considered when hearing and learning about this case.
Just as a side note, I have never heard such a brutal statement made by a schmurderer in my life. I can't think of anyone's worse than Sarah Boone. Boone's. Sorry,
specifically the suitcase. His family member mentioned every time they use a suitcase, it kind of triggers them and makes them think about this, and they can't even use one without breaking down.
Sarah has caused a lifetime of pain, a lifetime of horrible images.
So we do put the link to everything down in the description. We will pop forward and get past the families, talking about the family, but then he starts talking about some funny things. He talks about the people that stood up for Sarah, and it kind of cracked me up.
And save the day for Sarah and get her, she'll be off scot-free. You know what? The judge will have no choice but to sentence you to 0 days in jail after hearing this riveting witness character testimony about what a good person you are.
Yeah, right. After all the judge that witnessed it and had to endure Sarah Boone, Sarah gets somebody standing up and saying, if she would get out, I would give her my kidney. So like, what were they trying to say? Like, if you'll only let Sarah out, somebody would get a kidney, but because you're not letting Sarah out, no kidney for you from this alcoholic woman. I mean, I'm sure.
Enter several former inmates who were locked up with Sarah. Like, they had one lady on there. I'm going to show you some footage of this. They had one lady on there. She was like, oh yeah, I knew Sarah from B Block. We used to play Go Fish together, and sometimes she would give me her extra slice of cheese from my biscuit in the morning. She a real good person, Judge. Let her go. Don't be too hard on her now. What are you talking about? What kind of... Like, you would have been better off not having anybody come up.
Sarah's such a good person. She'd give us her biscuit or even her kidney.
And speak on your behalf. If this is who you're going to have, take a look at some of this.
Ma'am, come on up if you can. Raise your right hand. Madam Clerk's going to go ahead and swear you in.
solemnly swear or affirm testimony about to give will be the truth and whole truth.
Ma'am, if you could state and spell your name for the record for us.
Christina Pena, Christina Pena.
All right, you may inquire, sir.
How old are you?
31.
And where do you live?
Orlando.
Now, it's my understanding, Ms. Penna, that you were in the county jail with Sarah Boone.
Oh.
How long were y'all in the same cell together?
Yes.
What kind of
I was
witness
in
is
there
this?
for 4 years, but we're together for 3.
And I understand ultimately the charges against you were dismissed. And so you were released on what?
April 4th this year.
She was always real nice, Judge. She'd give me a biscuit in the morning.
123.
She's a changed woman.
I've been out for like 6 or so months now. Yeah, since April. Sarah's one of my best friends, my only.
Well, that's a sad existence there, ma'am.
Take your time.
She's helped me a lot.
I would say
Spiritually
she's
and, like,
better
growing
than Nelson
and,
Mandela.
She can't even get it out without her insides churning.
and I would help her with, with hers too. We're both. Justice is not what it is. I don't know how.
Bless you.
Oh, wow,
We both
man.
helped each other out.
My heart is touched.
Ms.
I
Penna,
tell ya.
appreciate it.
Any questions, State?
Thanks,
Thank you, I
Lefty,
appreciate
or
it.
whatever your prison name is. Thanks, Sticks McGee. Bertha.
Biscuit.
Thank you. You may proceed, sir.
So briefly tell us a little bit about yourself.
I met Sarah in jail.
Kidney pie.
Went through a lot of unfortunate circumstances.
Girl, you know I got you. I'll show up to court for you as soon as I get out.
And when would that have been? Do you recall the dates?
Yes, it was April.
I just couldn't
Of this
understand
year.
why
2024.
nobody came forward in Sarah Boone, but now we see that her brother was one of her brothers in prison for child offenses, and I don't know where her other brother is. He's just MIA, and her parents aren't alive, and so she's got her prison friends speaking up for her now.
Boy.
And
did
also,
you-
I need to correct myself. The kidney, the person that was the kid needs a kidney. During my last live, I called that person a he, and apparently I misgendered them, and it was a she. Somebody corrected me in my comments. She just had a very deep voice.
Mel, our relationship with Sarah Boone over the course of that 3 months.
Yes. We met when I was going to the beach dorm. And
We met in B dorm. Right? Let her go. Scott free. Wow, I have no choice but to cut you loose, Sarah Boone. I mean,
What?
come on. Absolutely.
Wait a minute.
ridiculous.
You met her in
Um,
B dorm?
Oh, well, if it would have been C dorm, I would have, maybe cut 5 minutes off her sentence. But B dorm, let's let her go. She gets to go. You get out. You were in B dorm.
But anyway, she was sentenced to life without parole in prison. Justice served as much as it
And
can.
also, sometimes over on this channel, I just have to laugh about things, because if we don't laugh, if you don't keep that snarky Gen X humor, this stuff will make you go insane. Yeah, Sarah Boone, if I don't laugh at her, I will punch the screen. So she gets my humor.
And be. So what's life
I
going to
need
be
my
like for Sarah
screen.
Boone? Most likely in prison. Well, I can tell you this. I mean, from speaking with, if you're familiar with Marcy Marie Simmons, she's a creator, mainly on TikTok and Instagram. She had a 20-year sentence in Texas women's prison. And I've actually interviewed her once and spoken to her several times just about this subject, and even specifically Sarah Boone. There isn't really the kind of violence going on in these women's prisons. I mean, of course it happens, but, that you would really associate when you think of men's prisons, all the shanking, with the homemade prison knives and weapons and just beat downs for looking at me the wrong way and all of that. It's rare, it's a very different environment in the women's prisons from what I gather. And even speaking with Pino,
I'm having some weather issues, and so I am getting a notification that StreamYard is having problems streaming over to Facebook. So if anything starts happening over on YouTube, just be aware that there's another storm rolling through.
Fellow YouTuber on here. He's got a very large following and audience. And him serving his time in prison even told me, of course he did his in a men's prison, but he is good friends with several women who have spent a good amount of time in the Florida state women's prisons. And so from all of this, it seems nowhere near that amount of violence. And I don't think Sarah Boone will get, beat up every day of her life, right? It seems the most violence in there occurs, which still is not that often, more for like domestic reasons, because there are a lot of female and female relationships back there. A lot of girls, whether they're already into girls or they just eventually become into girls, they got kind of relationship drama, and there will be a lot of physical fights about that. But other than that, there's not really a lot of violence back there, and I don't see Sarah Boone getting shanked to death in the bathroom shower. You know what I mean? Sarah Boone, and we kind of see this with the female inmates who came and testified on her behalf as to how great, what a cool inmate she was. She's so great. She talks to me. She helps me out. Help you with what?
I think that if you have to go to prison, being a female, going to the female prison would be much more comfortable than going to a male prison. So I don't think Sarah Boone's going to have it that horrible. And I don't think I think Sarah Boone will be in her element. I think Sarah Boone's really afraid, though, because Sarah Boone was been in this jail, for 5 years now? She's like queen bee. She's top of the food chain right now, and she's about to go back down to the bottom.
But, she probably will get along. I think the thing that may cause her the most issues is just her personality and her attitude. It's not going to be her charges. I do a lot of these videos about what is someone's prison experience going to be like whenever you have a big name in the courts and they get sentenced to go to prison. I always kind of make this type of video. And usually we're talking about a man who did something, that may involve women, children, those kinds of crimes. And so there's a lot to talk about and dissect there. It's not really the case here. The women are not really going to have, the inmates there are not going to really have a problem with her charge. There's probably a lot of women in there for similar charges. There's women in there for, subjectively worse charges that you would probably have the opinion on.
I don't think they're going to have a problem with her charge. I think they're going to have a problem with her attitude, the way she conducts herself. I just don't think it will rub people well. It doesn't rub anybody well.
To them because of the charges. I think it's, in prison, I think no matter what your charges are, you are what's going to dictate how people treat you. And if anything, any harm is going to come your way, and just what your real experience is going to be like. That really comes down to how you socialize.
She doesn't even have to have life. She didn't even need to have life. She could have just got 15 years, but Sarah Boone worked herself into life. Sarah Boone's that A+ student that worked herself into life.
How you conduct yourself, how you move about, and prison politic with the inmates around you. Okay. And Sarah, it seems, she made a few friends here. I don't know for what purpose or what reason these former inmate ladies showed up to talk about what a great person Sarah Boone was. But
I would think for that 15 minutes of their own fame, maybe.
I could see her getting on some nerves real fast. Because here's the thing, jail, where Sarah's been this whole time, much, much different than state prison. Okay, much different. I would argue that a lot of the inmates there, they've been there a long time, and there's just a much lower threshold and tolerance for the kind of BS that comes along with Sarah Boone, if you know anything about Sarah Boone, and just how she is. Okay. I can see her getting old real fast, getting on a lot of nerves, and I wouldn't be surprised. Bottom line, what it comes down to, I wouldn't be surprised if she got roughed up once or twice, a pretty good bit in there. Aside from that, I think she's going to have a long, long time to do in there. She won't meet her demise at the hands of another inmate. And that'll be that. She'll be forgotten about. She'll probably try appeals, which, actually she won't, now that I say that,
she for sure is going to try appeals, but the only way she's going to get an appeal is if they really mess something up, like they didn't do something by the book. That's the only way.
The judge already ruled there.
Although,
I often worry that because in the final, like the judge didn't give her that one more lawyer, like somehow she's going to fight that. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, so I don't know if she has a leg to stand on, but she might
be a retrial, actually. So it's just, Sarah's going to do something, because that's what Sarah does. She writes letters. She's made flyers, advertisements that have gone viral. That's what she does. She can't sit still. She can't leave, well enough alone. She can't let anything lie. And so she's going to be messing around, doing crap, making little noise where she can for as long as she can. But I believe Sarah Boone will ultimately just fade off. Everyone will forget about her. She will be forgotten about, and she'll serve the rest of her life, however long that'll be, in prison. Do I think it's going to be a living hell in there? No. I think women's prisons are a lot, in comparison to men's, they're a lot less dangerous. And it's a lot easier to just kind of be in there and do your time. And if her haircut is any indicator, I don't know what way Sarah swings, if it's just men, if now it's women, or both. If we ask her haircut, I would say she will be gay for the stay. Because let me tell you, that is a handsome haircut. It's very similar to mine.
What do you guys think? I think she already had it. I think it's already been rumored that she already has a boy or girlfriend in there. So, yeah, that's what we have for today's show with Miss Sarah Boone. When I saw her on that Nickelodeon game show, I knew I had to bring it to you to show you Sarah Boone before Sarah Boone. I can't imagine screwing myself into a life sentence. I mean, you've got to be some kind of piece of work, and right there, the mouth got her in. Her mouth did it for her. So, yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much, Heavenly, for coming in and moderating. Thank you, Rebrand, for coming and hanging out. Thank you to you who's listening, but just is hanging out in the shadows, which is just okay. But be sure to click that thumbs up button for me. And hey to you, my replay crew, I love you. Okay, guys. I'm going to go. If nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you this. I love you guys so, so much.
Baby, I'm dancing with you tonight. Here in the blue, I'm dancing, falling out, hoping for some time with you.